Hello millennials and your entitled ways. I am 58 and have worked in HR for 30 years. I am so happy to see you. Where have you been all this time? Finally, a generation that understands morals. Doing what's right. Living a real life that's all your own and what is important. Hint: it's never work. You fight against exploitation, consumerism, capitalism and the ownership of labor. I have been waiting for you for so long. I am about to retire, so I pass the baton to you. Agreed. I'm 49 years old and think it's great to finally have a generation that has enough common sense to see the truth about the grift that is capitalism. I'm a geriatric millennial at 37. Lol. And I couldn't agree more with you. It feels like society is finally starting to have some bigger conversations that we've needed for decades. Brave of you to post in this sub as our. I was prepared to be angry, but I was pleasantly surprised. Millennial who's also a veteran here. I'll never understand how more vets don't feel this way, but the way workers are treated in this country feels like an absolute spit in our face with all the BS they fill our heads with about protecting freedom and democracy, and has pretty much killed my patriotism, and I cringe every time I'm thanked for my service. Recently retired 64-year-old here who also happy to see their entitled ways. All they're asking for is what every worker deserves at the bare minimum. And I am rooting for their success in achieving that. I am truly disgusted at the callousness, avarice, and wealth hoarding of those in the upper income bracket. I'm 39 and I have over 6 figures in student debt with a graduate degree specializing in IT management stuff, basically. And I am now a burnout from the corporate world because when I tried to implement good processes and correct bad ones, I ended up fired twice in a row. I am pretty much unemployable at this point as a result of following best practices. One of the times I got fired, I was really demotivated after railing against a metric for being neither a leader nor indicator of anything, because its falsification was encouraged by management, and also because it was an unnecessary stressor for workers because they had to constantly switch. That metric was the requirement of phone-based support agents for enterprise contact center software, meaning the software that runs the call center, tracking their time in 15-minute increments. I found out a few months after I was fired that the metric was put in place by the president of the company because he was concerned about agents stealing time. Some of us tried and were just beaten away. Serious question. Why do y'all think millennials are labeled as entitled? Is it because the capitalist propaganda machine is trying so hard to convince people that basic human rights are actually special privileges? Is it because boomers were taught dumb things like, wearing a hat at the dinner table is rude, and just accepted it without question? But millennials question everything and don't follow any rule without a logical reason? Are boomers pissed that we don't give them unquestioned authority like they gave their elders? I feel like there is a wider cultural divide between boomers and millennials, Gen Z, than there has been in modern history. Why is that? Maybe Gen Xers could offer the most insight. Hey boomer, don't check out just yet, we could use an ally. Slightly smiling face. I dream of retiring at 58. I for sure won't work a day longer than necessary so some wealthy dude can add numbers to his bank account. Oddly enough, we're gonna be the bosses of our generation's kids. And most will actually know about the little things like reality, rent, WTF I seriously pay rent for my cat, bills, etc. So, not just for us. Then again, cat rent is way cheaper than daycare. We already have way retired people having to work again. Nobody's trying to have kids. Thank you. I've been sick of getting jobs and finding out it's normal there for men to treat women a certain way. And it makes me sad a lot of ladies went through it before me, but could not stop it. I've had jobs where I punched a guy in the face for grabbing my ass, threw coffee over a boss that wanted some special time, and now I got somebody fired over some horrible things he was saying. He is the owner still, but can't come near any employees ever again. I have friends who think it's normal to be treated that way. And I have met too many coworkers who think it's normal behavior to touch your female coworkers. This is not new, but people finally started going against it. Millennial here. I love this sentiment and attitude. My only fear is the pro-capitalism side still has all the power, positions and sway. If we are the first generation that understands life outside of work is more important, that means it will still take 2030 years of phasing out all those who came before from those influential positions. So our entire life. Don't get me wrong, I'm happy to be the generation to plant trees whose shade we'll never know. I want things to be better for my kids. But without drastic systemic change, I don't see how this will happen until we reach those top-level positions in 2030 years. I'd like to be wrong on that though. As an old white guy who was lucky enough to hit the sweet spot of generational expansion in America, this is what I teach my YPUNG team of developers and my kids. Point 1. You are not brain surgeons. There is nothing you do that cannot wait until tomorrow. You hit the end of your day. You stop working. Work is what you do to make money and have a life, not the other way around. Point 2. You set your work schedule. Not me. You don't feel like coming in? Just tell me. I won't ask for an explanation or an excuse. Point 3. I do not care when you work. I have devs who work 3 p.m. to 11 p.m. and I have others that work from 6 a.m. to 2 p.m. IDGAF. You hit your goals. I am good. Point 4. We have unlimited PTO. If you take less than 2 weeks of vacation per year in addition to singular days off, long weekends, then we will have a conversation. See Rule 1.5. If you find a better paying job, FFS, take it. I am a senior level manager, but HR here sets pay rates. I am not going to be able to match a 20K increase. Go. Be happy. 6. Your life and family comes first always. If you feel like this job is interfering with that, just tell me and we will fix it together. There is always a way. My daughters are in their 30s and I hear about their struggles every day. I am close to retirement, but I feel there are not enough managers with my A2 here. So I hope everyone is okay with me sticking around a while. I've noticed that the people who want everyone to come back to the office are also the people that refuse to learn new technology that supports remote work, and they just don't want to change how they've been doing things. Those are the lazy people. Gen X person. Millennial here. I think a lot of the credit needs to be handed to Gen Z. They're sticking up for themselves in more ways than one and are definitely teaching me a thing or two about hard boundaries. Please stick around with us though. Older allies are always in demand here. Was preparing for the sarcastic passive-aggressive counterattack. Awesome to know there are people in your age bracket who actually get it. Sign of the Horns beer mugs. Waiting for us to fix it all? I feel like I was born at the wrong time, tbh. Sorry to be morbid, but there is too much damage caused by the generation above us. So we have to suffer and fix it? Emo. Nothing much will change until boomers are no longer in positions of power. How are we entitled? Yes, we feel we should also be entitled to a living wage and a life. Boomers are the most selfish and entitled generation in history. Yet they think it's us. I don't get it. The generation above them were great and selfless. What happened? I love how not wanting to get ripped off every day is self-entitlement. Maybe you are all just super gullible. Existential dread has a way of moving the paradigm. Expect this to go somewhere you never predicted. The smartest thing I ever heard was, don't confuse where you live with where you work, the BS, work. Family. Frankly, it bothers me to see cubicle littered with family pictures and knickknacks for this reason. Sure, I had a work mom, because she was a sweet old lady that I talked to all the time. But my mom is dead and I miss having someone like that to talk to. This guy gets it and us older generations have been screwed for decades.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Haircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.